I am Charmaine Touhey, and this is my story on how I survived domestic violence. I survived 11 years of domestic violence. I was relentlessly beaten mentally and physically by the father of my two youngest children. He was and still is a narcissist, a sadist, and a very tortured man. He went to jail 4 times for battering me, but he didn't just beat me up 4 times. He beat me physically and mentally on almost a daily basis. He's the type who pretends to be nice and charismatic and charming. That's when he wants something. He cries to people to make them feel sorry for him, and that's how he gets you to fall for his abuse and manipulation. The beating started when I became pregnant with his first child. In all, I have 4 precious children. My first 2 sons are not his, and one of those boys has severe complex partial epilepsy, autism, frontal damage to his brain, amongst other conditions. And these poor boys had to see their mum being mentally tortured and see me being beaten. He would grab my hair and tell my boys I was a whore and many disgusting things. I don't even want to repeat most of it. When I first got pregnant, he started locking me in a room away from my children. He wouldn't let me sleep, and he wouldn't see my sick boy next door who was having seizures. If I cried to see my boys, he would slap me and call me names. He put me through sleep deprivation. And he locked me up and hit me throughout my first pregnancy. He was a really jealous and possessive man, and he accused me of sleeping with literally everybody. Our son's first Christmas, he punched me in the face and knocked me out on the floor in front of our 1-year-old son and his brother. And I had damage to my jaw and 2 massive black eyes. My sister and I had photos, and they were horrific. He went crazy, and our neighbors called the police, and he went to prison for domestic violence. Over the years, I have had numerous injunctions out on him. When I moved away from him to start a new life, he came to that house and kicked in the door and beat me up again in front of my kids and my auntie. And he poured paint all over me and all over my house. And again, the police were called, and he went to prison for domestic violence. After he got out that time, he promised he was sorry, and he said he would stop taking drugs and stop drinking. He did therapy and domestic violence and counselling, and after a while he swore he was a changed man. He said he had learned his lesson and he wanted his family back. I fell for it once again, naively. Stupid me. We got back together after a year of separation, and I became pregnant with our daughter rather quickly. I became scared then, and the realization that the beatings would probably start again, and I was right. Whilst I was pregnant with our daughter, he punched me in the face again and knocked me out in front of his friends and my son. So my son punched him in the face and split his jaw in 2, and he had his mouth wired back together. And then he told everyone he got attacked by some random people, and he tried to claim compensation for the government for his injuries, which was turned down because of his lengthy criminal record. After years of watching his stepdad beating and torturing his mum, my son had had enough. My children have all been damaged tremendously. I had black eyes all through my pregnancy with my daughter, the daughter he said he always wanted. He has a gambling addiction also, and he gambled our daughter's cotton pram money, which I had to save up for myself because he never gave me money. 11 years of this behaviour. The last time he ever got the chance to hit me was 4 years ago when I was at home with our newborn daughter and he was out on another drug binge. And he barged into the house and he locked me in a room with our newborn baby in my arms. And he proceeded to beat me and punch me and drag me around the room with our 3-week-old daughter in my arms for 5 hours. He was crazy and his eyes were completely blank. And I couldn't put our little baby down because he would have thrown her or injured her as he was smashing me about. All I could do was scream and beg for mercy for me and my baby girl. The neighbours finally heard me after 5 hours of screaming and the police kicked the door in. Charmaine hid in the cupboard and I told the police where he was hiding. So they arrested him. There was my blood all over the room. Then he went crazy and had to be sedated by the police, a lot of police. He's a big guy, about 6'2" to 3", and I'm a petite, small, 5'2". I knew that day that if the police and neighbours hadn't have saved me, then myself and my beautiful daughter would have died. I would have been another statistic. I made the decision to leave him for good and to never let my daughter witness the horrific things her brothers witnessed. Myself and my children. Myself and my children are still traumatized by this man's actions. And the kids got hit and hurt in the process of me getting hurt. We are all still suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Despite all this, I have always been a brilliant mother. Social services have my back, my family have my back, and my violent ex's family have my back except his mother, of course. That's another story. That's another video, by the way. But what's really got me in the predicament in the first place is just being too nice in the beginning. And I'm sick of being nice, and I'm not going to let someone treat me like this and use my kids and then get away with this. When he eventually got out of prison, after missing his daughter's first year, he asked to see his kids, which I was very dubious about. I was like, no way, I don't want him to see his daughter. It was only agreed through eventually, after a while, after I spoke with social services, that I would let him see the children if they see him at his mum's house, because he doesn't drink or take cocaine at his mum's house. Okay. But he hasn't done what he said he was going to do, and all he's done was play games over the last 5 years. He's made every excuse not to see his child. He's never given me a penny, and he's left me struggling with little money, with his daughter and a very sick boy having up to 30 seizures a day, while he sits outside my house for the last 4 years, selling whatever he's got to sell to get his money, and flashing his money around and smashing shops up on the Harrow Road. So he's still the same person he's always been. If he did actually see Luna, it would be sporadically, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, and he would only take her on a Tuesday and a Wednesday after school, and his mum would put her to bed, so he'd only see her for like 2 or 3 hours for 2 days every 2 months. he didn't really spend time with her at all. And as I said, he didn't give me a penny. It's just been absolutely abhorrent and awful. And I've had breakdowns. Looking after these children, especially a sick boy, it's the most difficult thing in the world. And I wouldn't wish this situation upon anybody. He wouldn't take her on the weekends because he's still spiteful. He doesn't want me to go out. He doesn't want me to have a life. He wants me to be stuck here with these sick kids with no money. That's a God's honest truth. And this is what's really, really got to me now as well. Well, not just this, but the whole reason for this video is because it's my duty as a woman, as a mother. It's imperative that I tell the truth and I save this other girl from actually being killed or her children being taken off her. Because in the last few weeks, he's actually pretended to act really nice. And I thought, oh my God, what's happened? Has he fallen and hit his head? What's going on? He actually rang, talking really nice for the first time, saying he wants to see his daughter. And what was really going on is he's just started seeing a girl. And he's told this girl that I've stopped him seeing his children. And obviously he's lied and told her all these lies. And what's really, really sad is the girl has children. So he's lied to her and told her that I've stopped the kids seeing him. And what actually really happened was a few weeks ago, because all he ever does is scream and shout at us. He was going crazy and screaming at our son, and he went to hit our son with his belt. So our son ran back to my house, and now he told his girlfriend that I stopped him seeing his son. So that's a lie. He's already lying to this girl. He's already destroyed us and done this to us. So my point is, if he can almost kill his own newborn baby daughter, and if he can almost kill me and put my children through this suffering for so many years, then what do you think he's going to do to this poor girl and her children? As a woman, as a duty, should I sit here and let that carry on? Should I let the guy abuse us and leave us with nothing and party every night and lie to everybody and end up killing this girl? If I did that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. It's my moral obligation to tell the truth. I have witnesses. I have the police who will back up what I say. There's such a thing as Clare's law. By law, if you ask the police about someone's history for domestic violence, they have to tell you the truth. My own children know that I've written and made this video. And I'm not doing it out of spite, because why would I ever want someone who tried to kill me and my daughter? I don't want that. I don't want a narcissist who bullies people. I'm a good person. I just want my children to be safe, and I want, if I can save at least one other woman from dying or going through what my kids went through, then I don't care about exposing all my demons and my skeletons, and I don't care what I look like. At least I've told the truth and it's out there. So it's not a game. It's a matter of life and death.